getting stronger now. It won't be long.
Come quick! The monster done ate my pappy!
Do you really think this was a bear, Doc?
Highly unlikely.
First man on Mars. Once he was human.
There's something shiny in the rock. This is really starting to sting.
Now a bloodthirsty monster, killing and devouring the young. And not so innocent.
Let's take a look at this, huh?
I'm gonna blast the thing back to hell.
Oh, shit.
First man on Mars.
You mean there's aliens out here? Shit, I don't want to get abducted and anal.
This film is not rated.
As an alternative to these government-supported programs designed to keep you docile and ignorant, Barking Pumpkin is pleased to provide stimulating digital audio entertainment for those of you who have outgrown the ordinary. The language and concepts contained herein are guaranteed not to cause eternal torment in the place where the guy with the horns and the pointed stick conducts his business.
This segment is brought to you in part by amazing new products, making the things that make your life worth living.
I'm Susan. I'm an outdoor enthusiast and mother of 12. I've always enjoyed the untamed freedom of the great outdoors. There's something sensual and fulfilling about a walk in the woods, listening to the sounds of nature, smoking cigars, and drinking cheap beer. But in 1966, everything changed when I was savagely attacked by possums and left for dead. As I lay scared stiff on the cold forest floor, I thought I'd never be able to hike alone again. Thank goodness I discovered Hiker Man.
Hiker Man. He confuses and frightens wild animals, keeping you safe. Set him up next to camp and enjoy the great outdoors like never before. Made of polyurethane vinyl, Hiker Man is more than a simple inflatable. He is, in fact, filled with real blood. Available with a variety of expressions just right for your situation. His look of subtle indignation terrifies most forest predators. Really ticked off Hiker Man keeps bears and wolverines at bay. Then there's drunken and aloof Hiker Man, specially formulated to incite panic in chipmunks and biting insects. Hiker Man, your man away from home.
Now, whether I'm relaxing in the sun, playing nude volleyball, or just starting things on fire, I can enjoy the outdoors safely and securely knowing Hiker Man is watching over me.
Get your Hiker Man today with just 3 easy payments of $12.72. Credit card orders call 1-800-HIKER-MAN. Not available in stores.
Hiker Man, I love you.
This could be the beginning of the end for the human race. For what men thought were the often ridiculed flying saucers are in reality the unparalleled collection of Bob Burns.
Halloween to me was a big time. I liked it better than Christmas.
Bob Burns, the master of monster movie props and science fiction relics.
Such sudden shocks.
Through the 50s and 60s, he terrified you with many major science fiction classics.
The world's most shocking monster.
We did the original Ghostbusters on television.
Basically, the love of kids, the love of doing it.
When I was a kid, Halloween was real big. I mean, I loved it. I think we're moving out of the neighborhood next year, and I think the neighbors would love it if we did. Because I think they get kind of tapped with all the extra people. We had 1,748 people by here last year.
On top of protected. Oh, no. Never done that. Never done that.
Greetings, fiends, and welcome to the Horror Mike Show on this fine and fiendish Friday evening. I'm your host, Horror Mike, of course. And you just watched a bunch of stuff. Of course, that was an intro to tonight's show, which is all about Bob Burns. We will get to that great fellow shortly. But first, the first couple of trailers that we saw tonight were from my films, one of which is Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1. Now I'm going to put that on the screen here for you. You can rent this baby for $1.99 on Amazon. And I'm going to drop the link into the chat right now, folks. There we go. And that is the link to rent my film, Horror Anthology Movie Volume 1. For a measly $1.99. You can't beat it with the stick. Dan, we saw the trailer to my film First Man on Mars, which is this beauty here. Now, currently it is available on Blu-ray. Now, these are signed and numbered copies, and there are only 16 left, folks. That's it. We're down to 16, and I'll show you what's going to happen. Once those 16 are sold, just make sure this is doing it correctly here. We're going to scroll down, and there's the beauteous cover. Let's see if that's working here. Yeah, there we go. There's the front cover. This is the back cover with the glorious review quotes from the film on it, which is rather nice. My own art, which is an insert card. Now, the insert card is also signed and numbered at the bottom, which is key. The disc, the Blu-ray disc, is also numbered, and of course, that number corresponds to the card. Now, once the last 16 are sold, the drawing is going to be held. There are two prizes. They're both screen-worn props from First Man on Mars. The first one you see here is the helmet that was used by the astronaut Eli Cologne turned monster. Yes, indeed, in the film. So that is prop number one that's going to be in the drawing. And then prop number two is the astronaut Snoopy cap. As you can see, the monster wears the Snoopy cap in the film, and you see that a lot of the time as well. And here on my on the dummy bust here, the makeup bust, you can see the Snoopy cap in action as well. So after this last 16, we're doing it, folks. The drawing is happening. Only 16 left. I'm going to drop this link into the chat. You can swing over to my website, which is horroranthologymovies.com. Right there, as you can see, First Man on Mars Blu-ray. And get yourself a copy. Only $9.99, folks. That's right. The First Man on Mars Blu-ray, only $9.99. My good fiends. So that is that. And then, of course, we saw a little kind of a PSA or advert from Frank Zappa, reading from his Barking Pumpkin album. And, oh yeah, of course it was Hiker Man. That was another PSA for Hiker Man, brought to you actually from, let's see, that was Zombo. Zombo's House of Horror Movies, my good fiends. Yes, indeed. So the last thing that we saw was a snippet from a documentary about Bob Burns. Let me get this off of the thing there for a second. I'm going to go to the IMDb page here. That should be it. There we go. Yeah, now for those of you who aren't aware, unfortunately, sadly, Bob Burns passed away this past December 2025. He was 90. He did hit the ripe old age of 90 years old, which is pretty amazing. And so the thing about Bob Burns is there are three things, amazing things about this guy. One, he was absolutely essential in the 1950s sci-fi and horror films. In the business, he worked with makeup effects artist Paul Blaisdell to produce some of the most memorable creatures in sci-fi horror films of the 50s, including Invasion of the Saucer Men, Not of This Earth, The She Creature, and more. Okay. Then in 1975, he starred as Tracy the gorilla in the series The Ghostbusters. Yes, the original Ghostbusters. We'll be looking at that closely as well tonight. But I think the thing that Bob Burns is probably more known for than anything else is his incredible collection of movie props from throughout time, since the dawn of sci-fi horror fantasy cinema in the silent era, all the way up and at least until the year 2000, I would say. Maybe even kind of into the 2000s. But the guy, his collection of props at his house easily rivaled that of Forrest Ackerman's. And that's, no small feat, folks. He also had Halloween shows at his house, and we're going to be looking at those because all kinds of people worked on these Halloween shows, and they were big. They were big events. I mean, they actually drew thousands of people. They did some amazing stuff. Wait until you see this. If you've not seen this before, I think your minds are about to be blown. I'm telling you right now, it's incredible. But so that's where we're at. We're celebrating the life and times of Bob Burns. Now, without further ado, let's get over to the chat here. I'm going to check out the Rumble chat as well. Hold on, because I got to go over there. It's a little clanky. Dave James is here. Hello, Dave James. Good to see you. It's Friday night and Horror Mike is back. Everything is good with the world once again. Thank you, my good man. I appreciate that. Hold on, folks. I'm going to go over to Rumble and see if anybody has... Whoops. Oh, crap. Okay, good. All right. I almost got screwed there. All right, no chat yet. But it is live. It is live on Rumble as well, folks. Yeah. It's working. Good to see. Let's see. Yes. All right. That's good. Okay. So Bob Burns, what can be said about this guy? Absolutely amazing history in film, especially in science fiction and horror. And I've got some great clips tonight that showcase not only his amazing collection, but some of the films that he was involved with and the incredible Halloween shows that he and a bunch of people put on over the years at his house in Burbank, California, folks. So let's see what we've got here. I know I put this kind of in order. Okay. Yeah, I think the first one, what people may not realize as well is that Bob Burns had some movie props that are absolutely unique in the world. And that includes, for example, the famous time machine used in George Powell's The Time Machine. Absolutely incredible. And this clip, I believe, focuses on that and a few other things. Let's take a look.
Well, the time machine, when I got that, is a real, like Hollywood story, you might say. It just kind of showed up. George Powell, who did the time machine, was sort of like my dad or my uncle in a way. I mean, I loved him so much. He always said, someday, Bob, you're going to end up with a time machine. Well, it was at an auction at MGM in the 70s. And my wife and I, we saved up $1,000 hoping we could get it. I had no idea. So we went to the auction, and it immediately went to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. And I said, I don't even want to know. We left. Well, I heard it went for something like 10 grand. A guy with a traveling show got it, and he had these big semi-trucks, and he had a bunch of props in. He'd go city to city. And then the whole thing just caved in. I don't know for what reason, but the stuff got re-auctioned off. I guess I was supposed to end up with this. I mean, George was right, I think, because all of a sudden I get a call from a friend of mine, and he saw the dish of the machine in the back of this shop. And he called my friend Tom and said, I think I found this thing that Bob was looking for. Tom and I got out there, sure enough, there it was. And I thought, oh my God. So we got it. I called George that very night when I got home, put it in the garage. And the first thing he said to me was just he says, of course, I told you were going to get it. Never doubt me. I knew you were going to get it. Well, I think to become a collector, I guess if you're a collector, you've got to collect stuff. I mean, that's it, whether it's a couple of pieces or hundreds of pieces or whatever it may be. The museum has become important for me for a lot of reasons, but I think the best reason I could think of to have this, I love this stuff so much, and I do want to share it with people. There's a fellow over in England who's deaf. His favorite movie was The Time Machine, because that's the last movie he ever heard. So that film, he remembered everything about that film. And he heard I had the time machine, and he was coming over to the States and asked if he could possibly come over. He came in, and he went back and he saw the time machine, and he fell to his knees, just started crying and crying. Because he said, I never thought I'd see this in my whole life before, ever. I saw it, and I never thought I'd see it again. And it just, oh man, and he went over to it, and he said, can I touch it? And I said, sure, you can touch it. When somebody comes in and sees something that they really love from a film, and they're able to touch it and get pictures with it and stuff like that, to me is very important, because I know how I felt when I got it. I'm no special guy, I'm just a guy that loves the stuff, that's all I know. I look at this like I'm really just the caretaker of this stuff. I don't even consider me owning it, really. I'm the guy that's supposed to take care of this stuff so people can see it. Oh boy, I love it, I'll tell you, I absolutely love it.
Absolutely amazing. The time machine, folks, and a few other props that they showed in there as well. Now, there have been a few books. Bob Burns put out a couple of books, one on his collection and one that was kind of like a mixture of stuff from his collection, what he did in film, and of course his role as the gorilla in the original Ghostbusters. Okay. I do not have those books. I do have, however, Paul Blaisdell Monster Maker, which has got a foreword by Fred Olen Ray and Bob Burns. Now, Paul Blaisdell, as I just mentioned, he's the guy that Bob Burns ended up helping to create some of the great creatures, especially from the 1950s. Let me see if I've got a great, this is a really cool photo of Blaisdell and Bob Burns. Bob Burns is the guy in the white shirt, and you can recognize the giant head there, of course, from Invasion of the Saucermen. So there you go, folks. And Burns worked on perhaps a good dozen films with Paul Blaisdell, which is fantastic. Highly recommended. Paul Blaisdell Monster Maker. Now, the last book that I'm aware of that he was directly involved with is a book. I've got it here. Fortunately, now this book is called It Came from the Basement. And man, it's a little hard to find, and it's expensive when you find it. I mean, on eBay, I think the cheapest copy is $100 now. Okay. So that's a little on the steep side. But I've got good news, fiends, because the book is also on the Internet Archive. This is absolutely fantastic. As you can, let me just get to the cover here. There is the cover. It came from Bob's basement. Dennis Murin also has I think it's just a foreword in this book. But it's fantastic. It shows a lot of the props, all kinds of stuff from the Bob Burns collection. And I highly recommend this. I'm going to drop this link into the chat right now. There it is, folks. That is the link. If you want to see the entire book, it came from Bob's basement. Highly recommended. It's freaking great, man. You're going to dig it. Dave James just chimed in again. I remember reading that when Ackerman passed away, his collection was split up and sold to the winds. Pieces went everywhere, probably lost forever. Yeah, I heard that, various collectors got some of that stuff. And I don't know if Bob Burns got any of it. We can only hope, really. That would be really cool if he did. But this book is just amazing. So let's open it up, take a look. There's a young Bob Burns with laser gun in hand right there. Okay, look, I just borrowed it. They're giving me some grief. This is one you got to borrow. So you have to have it's a free account, of course. There we go. Let's see what we can wrangle up here, folks. Yeah, this is the stuff Paul Blaisdell section and all of the various creatures. It, the Terror from Beyond Space, fantastic Blaisdell creation. Various spacesuits, Destination Moon, all kinds of films. I mean, these are all props that Bob Burns had. Now, as I just said, he died in December at the age of 90. And I'm assuming that his wife is still alive. She's still in the house. So I'm assuming that she's looking after the props. That's his wife right there before the makeup. No, just kidding. After the makeup, folks. She was actually rather fetching. Let's see if there's a good shot of her in here. We might see her. He's got a lot of life masks. This is great stuff. Yeah, there's Fantastic Monsters, which was a magazine, short-lived, unfortunately, but Bob Burns was involved in the magazine, and so was Paul Blaisdell. But it didn't last very long. I think it only lasted like 6 or 7 issues, sadly. Of course, you may recognize that as the torso and legs from American Werewolf in London. Got that. And there's some more American Werewolf in London. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. Terminator. Man, this guy had everything. Now, this is the chapter Gorilla Man. Of course, this is him talking about he just loved apes, gorillas in movies and so forth. And of course, he ended up playing one, as we will see. And there he is getting into his gorilla outfit right there. Another gorilla head. I think Rick Baker made that gorilla head for him. And there he is with the beanie. And that is, of course, Tracy from the Ghostbusters. And there we go. There's a kind of an interesting portrait of the Ghostbusters right there. Pretty hilarious. And then he did a thing called Major Mars, which people really liked as well. I have not seen the film, but they did a short film, like a 20-minute film called Major Mars, which looks really cool. A lot of miniature effects and so forth. Tons of practical effects for Major Mars. Helmets. He had of course, robot monster helmet, the original, or still has it, technically. The bunch of apes that he has, of course, Harry and the Hendersons there. And there's the section on his amazing Halloween shows. Now, we're going to get into that very soon. It is astounding what this guy did with these Halloween displays and, the various, how should I put this? Every Halloween show was a single theme. Like they did one from War of the Worlds. They did one that was based upon The Thing from Another World, Alien, and so forth. And these things were heavy duty, man. There's a picture of Bob playing the alien for the Alien show. The guy, William Malone, who did Scared to Death, that film with the Sinjanor, he built another creature from the Black Lagoon, a full bodysuit and head. And he was the creature for a Creature from the Black Lagoon Halloween show, which is pretty amazing. We'll see that too. But here's a lot of props. He's got a ton of props. Miniatures from the original film Alien. Of course, the time machine, as we've just seen. All kinds of stuff, man. It is just incredible. And that brings me to our next video. But hold on, we've got Dr. Ghoul is in the house. He says, as I've heard, Bob's collection is being seen to by Dennis Murin. That's good news. And I pray to Prince Sirki that he takes good care of what's been entrusted to him. I have the Bob's Basement book and treasure it. Yeah, look, it's an absolutely fantastic book. Highly recommended, folks. And I do hope that Dennis Murin does. I mean, if anybody can take care of it, it would be somebody like Dennis Murin. And you would think, seriously, that all these guys like John Landis, Joe Dante, freaking Guillermo del Toro, and all these big dudes would have enough clout and money. I mean, because they love Bob Burns. They're all in the Bob Burns documentary, which is coming up, folks. You got to see this to believe it. But to take care of that entire collection for another 100 years, okay, easily. I mean, I don't think there's an excuse not to. But I'm glad to hear that Dennis Murin is directly, he's been assigned as chief caretaker. That is pretty damn good news right there. All right, folks, we're going to go to another video here. And this one is a video of the amazing, God, I hope this is the one. I believe. Okay, we're going to get into some of the amazing Halloween shows that Bob Burns and his friends, everybody was involved with these directly, folks. Dennis Muir and John Landis, you name it, they were all involved, man. So they're absolutely incredible. Let's see if this is the one.
Many of you probably remember movie prop archivist Bob Burns from a couple issues back. What you may not know is that for the first time in 20 years, Bob put on one of his famous horror movie-themed shows last Halloween, along with the help of some of his friends from the special effects industry. Bob is putting together a DVD with highlights from the shows he did over the years, and he wanted Movie Effects viewers to get a first preview.
This could be the beginning of the end for the human race. For what men thought were the often ridiculed flying saucers are in reality the unparalleled collection of Bob Burns.
Halloween to me was a big time. I liked it better than Christmas.
Bob Burns, the master of monster movie props and science fiction relics.
Such sudden shocks.
Through the 50s and 60s, he terrified you with many major science fiction classics.
The world's most shocking monster.
We did the original Ghostbusters on television.
I've been through the, you might call it museum, he calls it home. And I've seen all the stuff that he did. It's amazing.
And they just sort of overwhelm you.
The first rubber mask I ever got was from Don Post Studios. He did the first Frankenstein mask in rubber, and it looked like Glenn Strange from Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. And I wanted one of those so bad.
Never have you known such cringing terror.
I remember vividly the first trip to the museum.
I appreciate him going to all that trouble for everyone to have a good time.
It's one of those moments where you really are moved close to tears.
Luckily, I brought my camera, and I have marvelous photos of Bernie Wrightson in the time machine, looking about 8 or 9 years old.
Why do I do it? Basically, the love of kids, the love of doing it. When I was a kid, Halloween was real big. I mean, I loved it. I think we're moving out of the neighborhood next year, and I think the neighbors would love it if we did. Because I think they get kind of tapped with all the extra people. We had 1,748 people by here last year.
On top of the oh, no. Never done that.
Can anyone stop their mechanical mayhem?
I wanted to show kids it could still be real fun. Because when I was a kid, it was big time for me. It was bigger at Christmas. And so I started putting on masks and stuff, answering the door. And the kids, would get together and say, there's a weirdo down the street that has this mask on. We gotta go see him. It's neat.
He thinks the girl's insane that I don't.
And I happen to have some extremely talented friends who happen to be about the best special effects people in the world. And they said, we'd like to help you on these. And we started doing that very thing. And we started getting sets bigger and better. And finally moved out into the backyard. They got so big.
Machine was real fun because we worked on the real time machine. Lynn Barker and Tommy Sherman and I restored the original time machine. It's the fellowship that I do the show for. It's the camaraderie, and they learn from each other, and they laugh and they joke and they have fun.
This is Captain Pat Hendry to Anchorage Base. The thing in the ice is loose. I don't know how long my men can hold it off. Anchorage Base, do you read?
in an isolated Arctic outpost on the edge of Burbank.
Sorry.
Now, we need a bigger boat. One of the world's greatest battles will be fought and won by the human race.
There are more important issues involved here.
Yeah. Why do I work on Halloween shows?
At the top of the world, a group of soldiers and civilians will meet the first invasion from another planet.
Got a very important job here.
Again.
Yeah, afterfear.com, this is pretty much it, yep.
Oh my God! Fresh wood!
So that's pretty good for a spook show.
After 20 years, a tradition has revived. Bob Burns and friends present The Thing from Another World.
All of you within the sound of my voice, watch the skies. Keep watching the skies. Stay tuned.
Absolutely fantastic. The work they put into these Halloween shows is mind-boggling. I just wish I had gone to one of those things. Absolutely amazing. And this spanned decades, right? I mean, he did, I don't know how many of these shows, as I was saying, themed shows. You may have recognized Daniel Roebuck, the actor there with the Thing from Another World show, which is just looks fantastic. And it's one thing I'm not quite sure of. I'm looking right now, but they did film parts of these shows. I'm kind of wondering if they filmed the entire shows, and you can see each show in its entirety as they presented it to the people. Keep in mind, folks, people would line up around the block. It was free. You know, Bob Burns didn't charge a dime. You just went in and you saw this show for Halloween. And it's amazing. So that's one aspect of Bob Burns, along with his work early on in the 1950s with Paul Blaisdell. But also, he was, as I said before, Tracy the Gorilla, which is the funniest part of the Ghostbusters. Now, Larry Storch and Forrest Tucker were the other guys involved with they were the three actors in the Ghostbusters. Forrest Tucker was kind of like the straight man role. So, and from what I understand, he was kind of there just taking a check. Larry Storch and Bob Burns really put it on. If you've seen the Ghostbusters, we're going to see a bit of that tonight. So get ready for that. As a matter of fact, I've got a trailer here just to wet your whistle. But this is just, I believe, a 1-minute trailer for the original 1975 Ghostbusters, starring Bob Burns as Tracy, the gorilla.
We're the Ghostbusters. I'm Spencer. He's Tracy. I'm Kong. We're the Ghostbusters. We're clever, courageous, and strong. Your sleep has been haunted with whispers and rattlings. Your blood has been curdled. We know what to do. Your skin has the creepies. You wonder what's happening. You're safe in our hands. We will take care of you. We're the Ghostbusters. Spirits and demons beware. The Ghostbusters. Wherever you're hiding out there. We know what you're up to. We're ready for anything. We're bold and we're fearless and never afraid. We're always prepared. We're right there with everything. With us on the job, trouble soon fade. The Ghostbusters do it again.
There we go, folks. The intro for the Ghostbusters from 1975. Bob Burns playing Tracy the Gorilla. And he knew how to play a gorilla. The thing about it in the movie, He is absolutely, he's flawless. He's hilarious. I love the stuff, especially between him and Larry Storch in the Ghostbusters show. It's really fun to watch, and we're going to watch an episode tonight, folks. Yes, that's right. But not only are we going to watch an episode, we're going to watch an episode with the original 1975 commercials in it. Okay? So instead of being a 22-minute Ghostbusters episode, it's a 30-minute episode, obviously, with the commercials from 1975. Here's the thing. I cannot show it here on YouTube. They would probably yank it. You know how that goes. I'm not taking any chances considering what has happened in the past. So what's going to happen very soon here in a few minutes is that we're going to go over to Rumble. Now, I'm going to put in the link here for Rumble, and it's free. And you can just go on here and watch it. If you want to comment, you're going to have to sign into Rumble, which is also free. It's just like YouTube. You sign up for an account, and then you can comment. But I am going to, I'm dropping in there it is. There's the link to Rumble, so we can show the entire Ghostbusters show on Rumble with the original commercials. Wait until you see some of these freaking commercials. It was just absolutely insane. I love it. It brought back memories, childhood memories, folks. Let's put it that way. So we're going to do that in just a couple of minutes here. We're going over to Rumble, so you might want to check that if you are interested in seeing this particular episode. It is really hilarious. It's got a mummy and a monkey in it, and rather hot Egyptian princess. Let's just put it that way. It is really hilarious. Let's see here. Dr. Gould says Dennis was assigned to the trust in Bob's will, for he said the same thing about his collection, that Lucas and Spielberg could have created a prop museum. They did not, and they certainly had the clout and money to do so. I don't see, that. I often wondered that myself, Dr. Gould. I cannot believe that. These dudes that are multi-millionaires, and that goes for Peter Jackson, another big Bob Burns fan, right? Guillermo del Toro. They got more money than they know what to do with. Along with George Lucas. And can you imagine George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, Guillermo del Toro, for Christ's sake? And what? The one thing I would get, whatever it would take, buy or lease a 5,000 square foot building in Burbank, transfer the stuff there, pay for, people to work in the building and have security for the next, 50 years. They could do it. I mean, it's really, holy crap, they could buy a building, any industrial building in Burbank, probably for $1 million. Not that big, obviously. I think it probably, 5,000 square feet would do it. I don't know. There's no reason for it. It just doesn't make any sense. Then, upon having the building and hiring the people, yes, they could charge admission or have some kind of a membership thing, which would then help, money would flow into the museum from people, that just wanted to donate and so forth. It just seems fairly simple. Like, I don't really get it, why that didn't happen with Ackerman. So it remains to be seen. I hope a similar fate does not befall Bob Burns' collection. Let's put it that way. Let's hope for the best. Dennis Murin, glad to see that he's heading it up. He's one of those guys that, he was tight with Bob Burns. So you got to think he's going to do what he can to preserve that amazing collection of movie props and memorabilia. Let's just hope so, folks. Man, I'll tell you. In any case, folks, so we're going to do this. We're going to do it. I got to go over here first in a second. We're about to go over to Rumble, my good fiends. Let's see here. Is it this? Maybe. Now, there it is. There we go. All right, folks. Yeah, we're heading over to Rumble. So hopefully I will see you guys over there because we're going to have a bit of fun watching a rather unique episode of Ghostbusters. You're going to want to check this out. See you over there.